Colorado, you guys have been fucking amazing for the last 10 years.
Let me start off with a Twitch feed this morning, and I got to get the whole name right. Mile High Hockey Lab.
The city of Denver, the state of Colorado, you guys have been fucking amazing for the last 10 years.
Let me start off with a Twitch feed this morning, and I got to get the whole name right. Mile High Hockey Lab.
The city of Denver, the state of Colorado, you guys have been fucking amazing for the last 10 years.
Let me start off with a Twitch feed this morning, and I got to get the whole name right. Mile High Hockey Lab.
The city of Denver, the state of Colorado, you guys have been fucking amazing for the last 10 years.
Live from Spectrum Community Services Studios in Colorado, USA. This is the Mile High Hockey Lab.
Well, hello and welcome to the Mile High Hockey Lab. My name is Adrian Hernandez. I am here today with Ezra Parter, Jackie K, Brendan Vogt, and Evan Liu for this 128th edition of the Mile High Hockey Lab, coming to you live and direct from Colorado, USA. We have lots to touch on today. Appreciate all of you folks for tuning in ahead of the last game before the Olympic break, which we will talk about. It looks like I lost Brandon there for a second. Let's bring Brandon back. Thank you to the four of you for joining me today. And of course, folks, head on over to milehighhockey.com, where you can find all of our written material to include roundtables, previews, recaps, opinion pieces, pollsters, and of course, head to Hockey Mountain High, where you can find the works of Brendan Vogt and Evan Liu as well. All right, so I feel like I've been listening back to our shows lately, and I'm liking the flow, but I'm going to change things up just a little bit today. I feel like what's happening is typical in my world. Adrian is trying to control too much. And so what I'm going to do in this scenario is I'm going to put forth kind of all of the potential talking points today. And Ezra, I've been starting with you. I like that. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to put them on the table, and I'm going to let you take and choose which baton you want to run with first.
Ooh,
That way you're not answering another question about how good Nathan McKinnon is, because I feel like I've asked you that like 75 times. So here are some of the topics.
But lately he has not been very good.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Well, we can maybe talk about that, but here's some other ones. McKinnon giving EJ a little bit of shit for a spray tan or some makeup. That was pretty funny. Avs power play still kind of sucks. LOC is skating again, but there's no timetable for his return. Landeskog is skating, won't return before the Olympic break, but looks like he's good to go for Team Sweden at the Olympics. We get word that Natchez is likely to play tomorrow, despite being injured the past couple of games. Bednar wasn't even considered in terms of being a part of Team Canada's road to glory in the Olympics this year. He has had his brain picked a little bit by John Cooper. We'll talk about that. Devontae's returns, what we're expecting from these Avalanche in the Olympics, who to root for, and of course, some storylines heading into the Olympics. Now you choose, Ezra.
Well, I think I'll start with Taves. It was nice to see him back in the lineup. He did immediately start the game with a real bad pinch that led to a goal, and the Avs never recovered. But I did think he recovered his game over the course of the game for the most part, which is good. I mean, it's definitely going to take some adjustment to get back in the flow of things. He doesn't look like he didn't look like last night that he had the full speed that we're accustomed from him. So he'll definitely need some time to get up to speed. But I do like what the defense looks like with him back in place, with Malinsky showing he can play up the lineup, but returning back to a bottom pair, but really like second line-ish minutes, second pair-ish minutes, and the whole defense rounding out. So that is encouraging in my opinion. I still think they need to add somebody, but not necessarily somebody to take top 6 minutes, but somebody to, be a more effective 7th D. So I liked that. What did other people think about Taves?
Yeah, he definitely started rough. That was noticeable. I really think his game overall wasn't really good. I mean, last night's game as a whole against Detroit was pretty rough through the first 2 periods. I think they only had 4 shots on goal, I think, in that second period.
In the second, yeah.
Tried their best in the third to come back, but didn't happen. And I feel like that's kind of been a common trend in the last, I guess, few weeks, if we're being honest. And this is where I guess I'll kind of switch directions a little bit, and I will tell people to take a deep breath in, take a deep breath out. Let's all chill. Let's all take a chill pill. Let's all relax. The Avalanche are just fine.
Sure.
They are going to be top of the league by the time the Olympic break starts here on, I think, Thursday is when it officially starts. And they're going to be just fine. They're going to be just fine. This was going to happen eventually where they were going to fall back down to earth and weren't going to win every single game 9-1, right? Even if Taves and Landeskog have been in the last couple of weeks when things haven't been going great, I don't really know how much of a difference they would have made, because this was always going to be something that was going to happen for the Avalanche. So they'll be fine. Are there concerns? Yes. I think we'll touch on those a little bit later. There are concerns, but you'd much rather have this happen now in January, February versus in April.
Sure.
So I just need everyone to chill out.
Well, just chill. This goes back to our conversation about like the Avs being bored, because I think me and Jackie were being a little bit misinterpreted when we said that, when we were talking about that, because I don't think it's like a matter of them like not wanting to win every single night and not caring, because that's blasphemous. Of course they care. They get paid to care. I care about this, and we get paid to do it. That's how it works.
We get paid.
Yeah, exactly. But the point being, it's easy to kind of pack it in when you know this break is coming. And kind of like the big guns like McKinnon and Makar, their focus has probably shifted, whether they like to admit it or not, to the Olympics and preparing for the Olympics. I even see some of kind of like what McKinnon is doing inside of his NHL game right now as training for the Olympics. I don't know if you guys picked up on this, but he seems to be like a lot more conscious of not holding onto the puck for a very long time. And I think that is the sort of thing that will bode well for him in the Olympics, because as Makar said in an interview with Pierre LeBrun, somehow, some way, Olympic hockey is even faster than NHL Stanley Cup final hockey. So I think that we're seeing like some almost like the NHL looking a little bit like a training ground for the Olympics, as well as like some decisions from management and coaching staff that is like a solid to the player as they approach the Olympic window. Like, to me, the timetable of return for Natchez, I imagine if this was like crunch time, he would have played these last 2 games. But given what's on the horizon for him, where this Avs team is, it makes sense to kind of let him have a couple nights off. It's exactly what we were asking for a couple episodes ago, which is a little more of a conscientious awareness of how this wear and tear will affect the Avalanche with an 82-game season and a high-stakes tournament in the middle of that. Jackie, where are you at on Devon Taves' return? And kind of tell me what you see in terms of what we're talking about there.
I don't have a lot to add on Taves. I mean, it's good for the Avs that he's back. It's good for Team Canada. He's one of the ones I always kind of call out a little bit on the apathy scale, so I agree. He probably would have made a huge difference if he was playing. I mean, I thought he was fine. Like, I don't know. I don't really have like a whole lot to say either way about his performance last night. Like, it was a game. He was there. I do kind of want to get to what Evan said, like, as far as the Avs will be fine. Well, what's the definition of fine? Like
They're
what?
top of the league.
Okay, but what is fine? Like
What more do you
obviously,
want?
More than a 5-point lead.
I'm
I
saying.
want a power play that's not net zero in
Okay.
losses.
So if
Another
they're
few
not
things I was
okay,
bringing
like
up.
this is what I'm saying. What is fine? Like obviously, I would hope nobody out there is worried that they're going to make with their little skid here that they're going to make the playoffs. Of course they are. Okay, so that's all that the points, their standings points tells you is that what position they are in relation to making the playoffs. And so of course they're fine in that regard, but fine like do they still have to stay ahead of all the Eastern Conference teams? What if they end up second in the Central? Like, Minnesota's now 5 points back, so it becomes a little bit more of a question there. Like, I guess what I'm getting at is just everyone needs to calm down because it's going to be fine. But what is fine? Do they have to still be the top team in the league to be fine? Like, I don't even know what that means.
I guess my definition of fine is staying in front in the Central, and that's still a thing right now. And like granted, when they come out of this break, they are going to have some big tests. They play Minnesota and Dallas frequently, I think. And I also think they play Chicago a bit. Like it's mostly Western Conference teams from here on out. It will be a test. I'm not saying that it's not going to be, right? If the
I think
Avalanche
it's good
fall,
that it is. Like, if they're going to end up first in the Central, I want them to earn it.
and
They got to
they're
earn it
going
by
to have
beating
to.
these teams.
At this point, they're going to have to, right? And this is where then you bring in, a Devon Tays who's coming back in, and hopefully we'll be all good to go from here on out. Same with Landeskog and Natchez and whatnot. And I know that Brennan put out a really good article today on Hockey Mountain High about Landeskog, and how important he has been, to this lineup. I think he said it last night. I think the Avs were, what was it, Brennan, like 75%
They're over 700 and under 400 without him.
Yeah. So like he's a big deal, right? He's kind of been the central cog
There's
to
other
this.
factors that are in that when he's not in the lineup those last 13 games. So
yeah.
So I feel like their game was starting to slip in December. I don't want it to be like, oh, well, if they had Landy, then they would have won all these games. Like, probably not.
Well, I'm not saying exactly that, but I'm just saying that he's been, it's coincidental that the slip has been during this time frame too.
Yeah, I guess my point is fine is where they are right now. It's fine. Like they are totally good. They're still the best team in hockey.
They are going to win 82 effing games.
So, but like fine. I'll side with Jackie for the sake of this conversation because I think it's a good one to have, because we can't keep moving the goalposts for this team. Like we've talked about it, we've said it's Stanley Cup or bust, right? And in these windows of who knows if we're right, maybe there's less to play for, maybe there's not, but either way they're in a slump, right? And I think that motivation aside, it's important to see how a team responds to a slump. And right now, the Avs are kind of like that. This is an analogy I've used before on the show, like a 16-year-old who just got in their first car and is just overcorrecting left and right and left and right. That's what it feels like from night to night. They go from shutting out a team to getting shut out from one night to the next. It's that lack of consistency that I think has fans anxious. And I don't think it's unfounded to see a lack of consistency and grow a little anxious, because the truth is that the proving grounds are in the playoffs for this team. And we're not even close to there yet. And so that kind of takes away from, like, we can't just give them a pass, because what we see in the regular season will come to life even more in the postseason. The weaknesses become crucial weaknesses, ones that get you eliminated. And so the thing with Landeskog and talking about whether or not his absence has to do with this slump, sure, but let's also talk about the fact that this power play has been a net zero for like 5 years, 6 years, even when Mikko Rantanen was in town and had that left shot that everyone's pining for on the trade market right now. Even when the Avs had that, it wasn't that good. So basically, Mikko was the only thing that kept it from cratering. And now here we are trying to dig out of that crater And the truth of the matter is if you don't have enough talent when you have a power play unit with Nathan McKinnon and Cale Makar, it has to be the approach. It has to be. So
yeah,
I hate to get all fired up, but I don't like this whole like they'll be fine thing, because they weren't fine last year, and they were a good team last year too.
They also didn't have a captain last year.
Yeah, well, they did though, right?
But they're going to be if you're going to go four rounds in the playoffs, you're going to be missing people. So you have to learn how to play that way. I don't want to pin it on having one player or not having one player, because if you're playing in June, you're going to be missing a lot of players. And to get into what Adrian, to just kind of piggyback off what Adrian said, yeah, for me, it's not, it's the January doldrums. Of course, they're not going to be super focused. They're looking ahead of the Olympics. Like, that's all understandable. It's that their flaws are coming to light now. Like, it was amazing in November. They won every game. They had no flaws. This was going to be the best team in the history of the NHL. And now it's like, yeah, there are flaws. Are they detrimental flaws? We'll see. But I think that's the part that you have to recognize, is that when it all isn't glitter and gold and everything, you start to see what some of the problems are and the reasons why they lose certain games. Is it just because Nathan McKinnon didn't show up and gave a crap in a game? Maybe. And that's not going to happen. He's going to care in April and May and June. But not being able to score, not being able to score on the power play, some defensive breakdowns, maybe the goaltending's inconsistent. These things all happen in the playoffs, and they're magnified, and you don't get a mulligan. If you have a bad week, you're done. And so I think it is prudent to at least recognize what some of these are.
I recognize the problems. Here's the last thing I'll say, and then we should probably move on to something else, because I don't want to beat this dead horse. The Avalanche are better in practically every single statistical category except the power play. And I know that that's where a lot of issues are at with a lot of people right now, is that because we all know how last year ended in that situation, right? Good news is you don't win the Stanley Cup in February. Good news, but
you also didn't win it in November.
Hold on. But in most of a game is not going to be on a power play. You're going to play 5-on-5 for most of the time, and the Avalanche are a dominant team at 5-on-5. We have seen that.
You have to take advantage of your opportunities, though.
I understand that, yeah, and you're playing most of the game at 5-on-5. That's hockey. That's just how it goes. And this is where I'll say the last few weeks haven't been great, and I think we all really need this break, right? Fans, media, players, they need this break, right? For everyone to just kind of chill out, root for their country, root for their team and players and whatnot. The big test will be coming out of that break, because they play a lot of Western Conference opponents teams, a lot of Central opponent teams, and it's going to be close. It's going to be coming down into the wire. The trade deadline, I think, is like a week after the break ends, and the Avalanche, notoriously haven't really been that good coming out of breaks. 6th. So it will be a big test. Am I worried? Not really, because this is still a damn good hockey team, and I need people to recognize that and not just say fire everybody and bench McKinnon and whatnot, because that shouldn't happen. This team is damn good, and I know I'm getting fired up about this now. I just need people to recognize that this is still a very good hockey team.
Oh, and I don't think that's
something else will.
I don't even think that that's remotely debatable. I just think like around here we're trying to hoist, right? And so that's why we get into the finer details of it, Evan. I hear where you're coming from. Like it's a lot of negativity for a team that's, as you mentioned, the best team in the league as it pertains to points. But I will leave it at this. There's only been one team in the salary cap era to win a Stanley Cup with a playoff power play percentage below 15. And it was the 2010-2011 Boston Bruins with a 10% power play. Every other team except for, let me finish real quick, Brennan.
Who was on that team, though?
Brad Marchand.
Okay, perfect. Every other team that's won the Stanley Cup in the salary cap era, besides the 2012-13 Blackhawks, the 14-15 Blackhawks, and the 18-19 Blues, has had a power play percentage of at least 20%. So it's safe to say, like when you're, like when we're trying to make a profile to profile a criminal, you can do the same thing by profiling a Stanley Cup champion and looking at the shared characteristics of them. And one of them is at least a decent power play, historically speaking. So I it's just so dumb. I get where you're coming from, Evan, because it's like we won't know. We can't know. All we know right now is that they're good enough to get into the playoffs, and we won't know whether or not the power play will be good enough in the playoffs until maybe it's too late or right on time. One of the two. So I like it. Let's move on for sure. Brandon, unless you want to add something real quick.
The power play sucks. That's it.
That's all he's got.
Bring back Ray Bennett at this point. Fire
There you
Dave
go.
Haskell.
And the funny thing is,
let's start that good conversation, shall we?
I mean, obviously, it's not a Ray Bennett or Dave Haxtell's problem, since the problems are the same with the two coaches.
Yep.
It's just that they insist on designing the power play around having Nathan McKinnon shoot, when every modern power play designs the power play around getting pucks to the front of the net. So it's frustrating, but they're trying to maximize one skill of their best player that is not his best skill, and it just doesn't work. And we've been saying this on the show for years. They have to redesign it if they're going to succeed. But again, Adrian was ready to move on, so let's do it.
Let's do it. Well, let's talk about the news we got today, which was that we hadn't heard anything really in a while since hearing that Logan O'Connor had experienced some sort of I don't even think it was a setback to his hip. I think it was a completely different thing that he's been dealing with privately and in matters of health. But we did find out today that he is skating again on his own. There's really no timetable for return, but it is positive news. Jared Bednar said, quote, he's progressing. Where does his role or lack thereof? What's up, Brad?
Corey Maziak from the Denver Post just actually posted this while we were talking about this. One of the stats from the 25-26 season to date from is that the Avs are 16-0-4 when they score at least one power play goal.
Yeah. So yeah. And they've every game they've lost. I think it's like 8 of all of the games that they've given up a shorthanded goal they've lost. So just put it that way as well. But Logan O'Connor skating.
Anyways, sorry.
Yeah, let's go. No, that's okay. Let's go there. Where does his role or lack thereof fit into the thinking around the trade deadline and now as you're trying to round this lineup out? Let's go, Jackie.
I think the biggest question with Logan O'Connor is, are they going to use his LTIR money or not? Mm-hmm. Like, is that $2.5 million? I believe that's what he's getting paid now. Is that better suited to go elsewhere? I feel like his role's kind of redundant. I think Parker Kelly's sort of taken on more of that Logan O'Connor role. And I guess moving forward, sure, is it nice to have 2 of those guys? Maybe on a roster, but in a lineup, I don't know. So I don't really feel like they're missing much. If he comes
Parker Kelly costs more.
No.
Yeah.
No, he doesn't.
No.
I thought he did.
Still on the cheap deal, and then next year it's 1.7.
Okay. I apologize. I'm sorry.
That's okay.
It's all good.
Well, I mean, it's not like they're getting rid of Parker Kelly either, so it's not a matter of one or the other. But I mean, sure, it's good news to hear that there's some optimism. I don't know. We've sort of heard these things before, like, oh, he's just going to skate, and then we hope he joins the team eventually. Like, even though that sounds like good news, that's still pretty vague.
Mm-hmm.
So,
he was. He said that he was, quote, hopeful.
So
he
also
said he was hopeful make a return.
That Landeskog was going to play before the Olympics, and he never was. Every single time Pierre LeBrun would write about it, he would say Landeskog's not going to be 100% at the Olympics, but he's still going. And then you contrast that with Benner saying, "Oh yeah, I'm hopeful he's going to play." Just stop, really. We we hear the ultimate word, so just stop trying to pretend like it's anything different. But that kind of reminds me of the O'Connor situation, hopeful, that's great. I mean, you can hope for anything, right? Hoping isn't evidence of reality. Hope is just hope. So, I mean, good. I'm glad that he's back on the ice. But like I said, to me, I think the important thing is they need the answer. Is he actually going to play, or is maybe that $2.5 million better spent somewhere else this year for help that they needed in another area?
Yeah.
and like Landy, they always kept the money open for him because obviously he had the credibility and the right and everything. He's the captain, and no matter what, you want him back. Does Logan O'Connor get quite that same, we're going to spend the money on you no matter what, or we need to make a decision here to make our team better? Mm-hmm. That's where I'm at with that.
I'm with you. I don't know the details. I don't think many people do. They've been pretty tight-lipped about exactly what it is. I can just read into maybe too far into what Bednar has had to say. And he said he's been saying things like he needs to catch a break. He'll skate over the Olympic break and we'll see kind of thing. So I imagine that's kind of like the timeline for that exact decision that you're contemplating, Jackie. Is like maybe we'll see how he does through this break on the other side of it, see if we're actually hopeful. And then if they are, I think you make way for him to return to the lineup. But if they aren't, I think you're totally right. Throw him on LTIR. That could help you bring in someone into be that left shot power play guy if you insist on continuing to do that power play approach. But because you're gonna need value, and we've talked over at length about how the Avs are kind of lacking value that they can give up in the lineup. So we'll see how all of that pans out. It is good to see that he's back on the ice. Hopefully he continues to progress. Maybe after the break, we're all talking about this and saying, remember when we were so worried about Logan O'Connor and Evan told us to calm down? Yeah, that'll be great.
Nobody should be worried about Logan O'Connor. Like, he is not the difference between this team winning a cup or not.
Yeah.
I will say, especially noticeable last night, Jackie's not going to like me saying this, but Parker Kelly was damn good. Like, the third line overall.
Then you don't need O'Connor.
Really the third line as a whole was super good. Parker Kelly was noticeable, and he's kind of been like that all year. He's kind of done his best LOC impression. And again, that's, I would hope that they keep Logan O'Connor because he's a fan favorite, but so is Parker Kelly's kind of become that too this year. So yeah, there's interesting moves to be made, I guess.
Vaguely, no one is saying trade LOC. We're saying put him on LTIR so you could use that money in a potential trade.
But the
unless
thing,
he's going to
play
the
thing I wanted to bring up about this was I'm pretty sure the new cap rules mean that you have to be cap compliant in the playoffs.
You do.
Unless you put like LOC on like the season ending IR, I guess, or something like that, then you can use his money and keep him off the roster or whatever for a new move to then come in for the postseason.
Well,
so
even then,
that's another
thing
make
to consider.
A decision. Either
even
he needs
then,
to play early March or they need to shut him down.
Correct.
Yeah, even then he's on LTIR, but with, like Evan was saying, they still need to be compliant within that LTIR rule during the playoffs. So
yeah, which is why Jackie's point of the choice needing to be made now is what she's saying. That's why we're saying they need to make a choice on him. The LTIR designation only helps if he decides, I'm not going to be able to give it a go at all this year.
Yeah, and then also vaguely saying that people can't be traded on IR. I believe Kiefer Sherwood was on IR when he was traded from Vancouver to San Jose.
That's not long-term IR. It's different. Once you put him on LTIR for the postseason, I don't think they can be traded because that's I could be wrong, but
then that money doesn't count. Like, that's not the concern, is to have him sign for years in the future. We're not talking about that right now. I'm not suggesting he's never coming back. And if that unfortunately happens, then of course they have cap relief mechanisms for that. It's just a matter of they need to spend the money wisely.
So just to clarify, there's like a bunch of terms going on here. Long-term injured reserve is not exactly the same thing as injured reserve out for the playoffs as well. Long-term IR, like not coming back. So vaguely in the comments is making just wanted to clarify for you. He's on LTIR right now with the ability to return. So his cap hit is still counting against the cap. For purposes of being cap compliant in the playoffs. But if they were to say, he's not coming back, then they could use it. Dallas is going through the same thing with Tyler Seguin. But I also want to push back on this idea that Logan O'Connor wouldn't be an upgrade to the roster. that does not track for me. I like Gavin Brindley a lot. I enjoy Zakhar Bardakov. I think they're both fun, good players. They don't have the level of consistency that Logan O'Connor at his peak does. Now, we don't think we're getting Logan O'Connor back at his peak because that's not how this works. So maybe it is a little bit more of a push. But having two bottom six lines that feature a Logan O'Connor type in Parker Kelly and Logan O'Connor is much better than having one with Parker Kelly. So even if they end up on the same line, that's better than what we're getting out of Parker Kelly paired with Brindley, Bardakov, whoever.
I think the instead of is more who they were going to bring in, not just status quo.
Yeah, if there's a third 3C option out there that really is an upgrade over Drury, and that's the move they want to make and use that money for, absolutely. I just don't think there's a realistic wing candidate that or player on the wing that like fits this roster financially and stylistically out there that is going to be significantly different than just having Logan O'Connor back, because any dreams of like Panarin or whoever for the power play are really not realistic monetarily. Mm-hmm. They're just not. That's not gonna work. And then if you move Colton to make that happen, at that point you need Logan O'Connor back to take Colton's spot. So there's a lot to juggle with this roster, but I don't think bringing in a big price guy is the answer. So we'll see what they find at 3C, but. Yeah,
that kind of makes me think of a question, and I don't know the answer, but like, what is Brindley exactly? Like, it seems like there's sort of these two thoughts about him that are going on simultaneously. It's the whole like, oh, he's this miracle find and what a great trade, and he's here and he's wonderful and we love him. And then it's also like, but he's not really good enough. He doesn't do anything. When he's on the fourth line, he really doesn't do anything. And should he be replaced through the trade deadline or not? Like, what should happen with him? Like, he's just kind of existing. And
honey badger, he's a honey badger, and honey badger don't care.
Yeah, it doesn't matter what he cares about.
No, you don't get where I'm going with that.
He has a lot of potential still, and we've seen that elevated in the lineup. He can be effective sometimes, but he's not consistent, which profiles as a guy who gets shipped out from this team just because he is a trade piece more than he is a consistent contributor in the playoffs.
Well, that's an interesting. I just had an image of Alex Newhook flash through my mind.
Yeah,
while we were having, because Alex Newhook had a place on the Cup winning team, or am I losing my mind?
He did. Well, he didn't. He actually started as a healthy scratch, right, but he did play. And the funny thing is, so did Burakovsky. So it's almost like Olofsson's the budget Burakovsky and Brindley's the budget Newhook. And it's like, if they both start as healthy scratches, that's fine because they eventually were needed. But so I do kind of like where you're going with this. He is sort of like the low rent Newhook replacement now.
Yeah, because if I remember right too, Newhook had a pretty big assist in the second round, I want to say.
And if I do recall correctly, Newhook started the 22 or the 21-22 season with the Eagles.
Yeah.
I think he played like 8 games.
He had quite a year.
That's still 8 games that he needed to get experience with the Eagles. So,
well, I guess I want to compare the two because I'm curious, like, do we think Brindley does fit that profile as kind of like the young guy who's very affordable, who you could potentially slot into your top 6 if you have serious injury problems in the postseason? Do we view him still as somebody capable of fulfilling that?
If they use him right, I think so. Like right now, I don't know why Yoel Kiviranta is playing above Gavin Brindley. I don't know why that's happening. That makes no sense to me. And like you said, we've seen it before where he can play up to that ability. But the playoffs too are also just a completely different beast. Like that's something that I think is going to challenge him if he gets to that point with the Avalanche. Like that's going to be something that you can't really teach that. Jared Bednar can't really teach that. It's just going to be something that he's just going to have to go out there and take a really big hit from someone like, Matt Duchene, for example. Like he's just going to have to take the brunt of it. And
who took the hit last night from Sherratt? Was it Brindley that got smoked last night? Somebody got hit. somebody got
Might have
wrecked,
been
right?
Malinsky? I don't remember.
It was Malinsky,
Well, the other thing
actually,
about
yeah.
Brindley is he spent an entire year in the AHL last year, so it's not like he doesn't have that experience.
Yeah.
It's
Well,
more
it's like-
it's more so just the playoff atmosphere, the playoff game.
Well, it's like
play.
it's so
that's
weird.
what I'm thinking about.
But look no further than Yoel Kiviranta for an example. But it's so weird that some guys get better in the playoffs, like, and
Or
have,
lucky.
yeah, sure. I mean, Kivi's done it for multiple teams now, in the playoffs randomly.
Don't remind us.
Yeah, so it's kind of like,
It's the whole reason why he's here. Everyone should be
Yeah.
aware of it.
yeah. Well, I guess that's really the question is, like, do we see Brindley as a guy who elevates potentially in that role? I mean, it's a 50-50. Like, you don't really know, but you don't know until you get there. And I think that he has deserved the opportunity to find out when they do get to the playoffs. I think that he should be on the ice, and we might see him take another step, because it's usually the challenges that make you grow into the player you're going to end up being as a pro. So if he can meet that challenge head on, we may see him take strides that we didn't expect this early again. So was a cool year for Newhook in 2022. Could be a cool year for Brindley as well, who didn't really have much, prospect of making the team ahead of, the season. And then all of a sudden he did. So pretty exciting stuff. That's a good question. I'm curious to see where we go with the Brindley thing at the deadline too. Cause I mean, the last, what felt like a sure can't miss prospect they did trade to make things feel like they got over the hump for a playoff run. So we'll see how that goes. Let's talk a little bit about the Olympics now, because unfortunately I will be covering the Olympics, and that's going to be an absolute blast. And I have some things that I want to bring to the table for Mile High Hockey that are basically just Avs focused Olympics content. So we'll keep up with the Avalanche players for each of their respective countries and kind of keep tabs on them. But the people I want to ask you about really are Cale Makar and Nathan MacKinnon, because expectations in Canada as it pertains to hockey can't get any higher. And we have our own expectation here in Colorado, but I hate to break it to us. It pales in comparison to the pride and fervor that come with national hockey in Canada. Brandon's shocked. But my question is, what really is the expectation for McKinnon and Makar and company in Canada? They're gold medal or bust for sure, but what does a successful Olympics look like to Nathan MacKinnon and Cale Makar outside of the result? Whoever wants it can take it.
Staying healthy.
Yeah.
I mean, that's really the goal for everybody, is to stay healthy. I mean, that's, I think, kind of the biggest concern, I guess, that fans of teams have, of course. But
They have 8 weeks to recover. They'll be fine.
Specifically for Cale Makar and Nathan MacKinnon, is they're going to have a lot on their shoulders, right? And McKinnon's kind of in the weird situation. He's kind of like the third guy for Canada, because you still have Sidney Crosby, and of course you have Connor McDavid and whatnot. They're going to be playing either above him or at least around him in the lineup, right? So kind of for him, maybe this is just me reading it the wrong way, but maybe for him, he's kind of got to be a little more of a role player. Maybe hand things off to McDavid and Crosby and kind of let them do their thing. And McKinnon will still do, McKinnon things, right? He'll still chip in and he'll still do whatever. And Makar will be the leading guy on the blue line, at least for Canada, of course. So I don't know. Maybe that's just how I'm reading it, but I mean, Canada's going to be damn good regardless.
I think I read it the opposite. I think this is his opportunity to say, no, I am the best player. Outshine McDavid at the Olympics. That's what, it doesn't, his success at the Olympics doesn't ride or die on that. Canada's success doesn't ride or die on that. But for him personally, he wants that. I mean, if he can be the best player for Canada, that's the dream for him. I'd say.
Ew.
Adrian. What is this, Adrian?
Oh, nothing. You saw nothing. Well, I don't know how to put a picture in our backstage without putting it immediately into the broadcast, so I can't sneak anything past you guys. But are you all ready for the talking point that will inevitably come from my face yet again after this Olympics, after Sidney Crosby, Nathan MacKinnon and company, and Cale Makar included, have a absolutely lights out power play for Team Canada. And Sidney Crosby is obviously the glue to that successful power play.
Oh, I know where you're going with this, I think.
How strongly will the public opinion sway towards Sidney Crosby being traded for at the trade deadline?
I knew that's where you were going.
Pittsburgh has to
He's
suck
got the
more.
wrong
It
color
doesn't
pants.
matter.
First off,
It doesn't matter what the public opinion is. It is not going to happen. Pittsburgh's in the playoff spot. It's not.
All right.
Why do we do this?
That's my Brad Marchand
okay,
moment. All right.
So first off, I know they're best friends, but I think there's a certain point where they're just like, I don't want to spend that much time with you.
I disagree. I think McKinnon
Yeah.
would love to only hang out with Sid. I
Well,
think he'd
yeah,
love to
but
have an
it's
excuse.
like it. Okay, it's kind of like where my best friend since like first grade. It's like I love you to death, man, but I don't want to work with you.
Yeah. I get
Just-
that. Yeah.
I need my.
But he has to
bubble.
work with all these other people. I
Yeah.
think
Yeah.
he'd welcome it.
No,
All his
I see.
buddies are gone.
I see what
has
you're saying,
fewer
though,
and fewer
Brennan.
buddies.
I had a best friend growing up, and we were just like super into sports, very competitive. Everything we did together revolved around playing something and trying to win. And after a while, that wears you down, and you start hating each other in the moment. And so I think you're onto something there. I really do.
And I think if you put each other on a team, that's all like literally that's going to ruin their outside of hockey conversation. That's because it's going to be Nate like, hey, do you remember this pass that I sent you at this moment in the game? And then he's just going to become that type of person that's going to be all he's going to want to talk about is
Too late,
how
brother.
to critique the game. And then they're going to just hate each other.
Do you really think those guys are talking about anything else?
Well,
Yeah.
you get my point. It's
The
I
like,
hockey camaraderie is strong, my friend.
but you get my point. It's just like, why ruin their friendship?
It's that he has
Yeah.
to spend 24/7 with somebody, so it might as well be him.
His wife is like, what about me, guys? But the thing that I'm excited for with Nathan McKinnon in the Olympics is like he's in such a unique position in that his boss did everything that he's trying to achieve right now. MVP in the Olympics, that is Joe Sakic, obviously. MVP in the Olympics, gold medal.
I thought you were talking about Chris.
No, yeah, not quite. MVP and gold medalist Joe Sakic. What a great advantage McKinnon has in that he can probably call upon Joe Sakic for a little bit of wisdom and guidance, especially as it pertains to the expectation and kind of managing that. Although I feel like the expectations are put on McKinnon by McKinnon most of the time. So I don't think he has a problem navigating that. But speaking of kind of the friends and teammates thing, Eric Johnson on ABC's broadcast was an absolute delight. And Nathan McKinnon gave him the business, basically saying like, because I think Eric Johnson asked him, how big was it to get this victory? And McKinnon said about as big as that spray tan. We come to find out Eric Johnson himself has reported that it was a makeup job where he said that he wanted to lean more towards being too tan rather than too pale. I think he can just go with too pale because he's a hockey player. Am I right?
Probably. That was also the most like happy I've seen Nathan McKinnon ever do in media ever.
Yeah.
It's probably was the fact that it was EJ.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, that was granted. I didn't really watch much of the game because I was on a ski hill in New York. Yes, a hill, not a mountain, a hill. And so I was just listening on the radio. So I didn't see the broadcast live until it was done. But like that's, I guess maybe that's what got him going in that game was the fact that EJ was there. I don't know.
Yeah.
Someone check the record of the Avs when EJ's up in the altitude broadcast.
Or he was on national TV. Like it wasn't even like TNT national TV. It was actual ABC, like over the air national TV, which they're lucky if they play one of those games a year. So I think McKinnon knew the lights were on.
I think they have another one or two this year on ABC, if I'm not mistaken. I think they've got a good bit.
I know they have 17 nationally televised games, and that was one of them.
Yeah.
Well, there's a different, like
got a
I'm
good
saying,
bit.
there's a difference between TNT and over-the-air ABC.
ABC, yeah.
Mhm.
I don't know. It's intriguing. If you don't mind, Ado, I want to go back to the Olympic talk because I have a good question I want to ask people. I know that we're Team Canada heavy because that's where three of the Avs guys are. They could have had five or six, if the goaltenders had made it. But I'm intrigued about Brock Nelson's situation with the U.S. because there's been conversations and questions about Bill Guerin and his choices about who's going and who's not going. This is maybe crazy for me to say as an Avs fan, but I don't think taking Jason Robertson was a mistake from the Dallas Stars. Cole Caulfield's, you could argue that too for Montreal, but Brock Nelson's going to be wheezing his way to Milan, all tired, and the 34-year-old is so tired, even though he scored almost 30 goals this year. What are his expectations for the U.S.? Because I know that last year at the Four Nations, it was he garnered a lot of attention, right? And that's obviously how he ended up being an Av. Where does that sit now with him being a member of the Avalanche now for the foreseeable future, and his role with the red, white, and blue? Well, yes, obviously. Besides that,
I think Nelson's in a unique position where like the clear leaders on that team are the Tkachuk brothers. Maybe not like hockey wise, but like in terms of like the public and public perception. Yeah, exactly. So like if the USA goes down, like those will be the guys that catch all the flack. That's how it'll be. But I think all these guys feel a personal responsibility. I mean, they're representing their country. It's kind of a weird time around the world. So what better way to settle some of that than by recreational sport rather than other means? So I think like it brings about an opportunity for humans to get something off their chest, and I think the players are a part of that. So I feel like with Brock, it's just about meeting the moment and being in it and being a part of the moment, not so much outcome related. Like Team USA would we agree should be the favorite heading in?
No,
I wouldn't say so. I'd say Canada is.
Canadian tears.
Even when you look at what's between the pipes.
Yeah.
Okay. Fair enough.
Unfortunately, yes.
Yeah, I don't think Bennington's going to get many starts, but that's just me.
I think he is, but I think they're going to have a significantly better team in front of him.
I have a question that I pulled.
Pull it out.
I pulled this, and I'll put it in a poster here during this week. But Team Finland is kind of an enigma for Colorado Avalanche fans. Lehkonen, one of the best Avs, one of crowd favorite. Obviously, Mikko Rantanen, no longer one of a crowd favorite, maybe in some people, but 50-50 split among 109 Avs fans on whether or not they will be rooting for or against Finland when they're not playing their favorite team, with the slight edge going to rooting for the Finns. Is this a matter of the question being polarizing or Mikko being polarizing?
I just think the question. I'll be honest. I voted rooting for Finns. I didn't even think about Mikko Rantanen being on the Finland team. With that being said, now that you bring it up, like I'll be happy to watch him again and not fear that he's gonna knock my team out the playoffs again.
Depends on what your team is. I think in regards to the Olympics.
Well, I guess I kind of laid my cards out there. I guess it's Canada because all the Avs guys there, but I don't really. It's just going to be fun. I'm excited to just watch.
Yeah.
Well, I'll answer all of.
Yeah.
As far as Nelson, I feel like he's going to have a bottom six role, so it's going to be different. But obviously, big goals come from bottom six players. So I'm not saying he's not going to score anything. I just think it's hard to, in your mind, translate that these guys are going to, have a completely different role. So I think they're going to lean on him for a lot of those things. So, he'll get some points, but I don't think he's going to be the big focus. As far as Canada, I kind of agree with both that it's just such a team full of stars. It's so hard. Like this always happens in the World Juniors. Like you always think, oh, they're going to dominate, and it's just like it's so different when you have a team of everybody's a star. But I also agree with the fact if McKinnon wants to prove he's the best in the world, he's got to have some. I feel like it's more about big moments than like he needs to have absolutely more points than McDavid. Like he needs to have, because in his career, if you look back at like the first World Cup and everything, you know, I think his outside the NHL success is defined by big moments. So I think that's what I'm looking for with McKinnon and Makar. For me, yeah, I just think people just don't care about Finland. I agree. Maybe not a lot of people thought of it in the Mikko Rantanen context. For me, I'm rooting for Finland in the Czech Republic because I don't want to root for the big hype teams, and I want to see Mikko do well, and I want to see Natchez do well. So that's also why I always like the Czechs as well. If Russia was actually in it, I'd probably be a big Russia fan, but the Czechs are sort of.
You hear that Russian train coming?
I mean, it'd be cool to watch him in the Olympics. It would be cool to watch. So, I'm
That
a
would
fan of
be
a lot of Russian players. I think that team would have been amazing.
Yeah.
So it's unfortunate, but I've always liked the Czech players as well. So I hope Natchez has success. I think it's an interesting opportunity for him. I think we're not talking a lot about the Czechs and him, but they're going to have stars on that team as well. But it is a huge opportunity for him to really step up and to be that guy and to maybe get them to a medal. And so I think it's more important for guys like that than like, what does Canada do? I mean, it's kind of boring. Like, are they going to win the gold or not? But is it really that interesting? Truly?
Yes.
It's interesting from the fact of like, okay, yeah, we want McKinnon to get 15 points and to win the gold. But, I don't know. I still find that kind of boring. I think it's more interesting. Can Natchez do something and get his team a medal? I think that's way more interesting.
Well, that's assuming Natchez goes into it healthy.
He's going to go.
He's going to go, but he may not play at first. But
they got preliminaries. They got preliminaries.
Yeah,
like pool
and
play
then
first,
I also fear, and this has always stuck out in my head with like the tournament play in the World Juniors, or not the World Juniors, the World Cup and all that fun junk. But the last Olympics, when John Tavares went in the corner and took a completely unnecessary hit from someone who played for Latvia, and it was a preliminary game, and the guy ended up like tearing his ACL or MCL or something like that, and he was out for like 6 or 7 weeks.
But that's what I'm saying. The playoffs are 8 weeks or more. So does it really matter?
Because of that, the Islanders ended up missing the playoffs.
But the Avs aren't going to miss the playoffs.
Yeah, but my point is,
but the Islanders might.
But my point is that this is something that is like always that one play when it comes to the Olympics always lives in fear for me, especially with so many Avs going to the Olympics this year. I mean,
but I'm just saying, like,
just quit talking about it, Brennan.
Of course, you don't want something catastrophic to happen. But something catastrophic could happen. Nichushkin got in a car accident. He could fall off the stairs.
It was minor.
I get it. Yeah, and he's fine.
Right,
so, yes, so somebody is going to get hurt at the Olympics. Somebody is going to get a bad injury, unfortunately. There's probably 1 or 2 people that are going to get an unfortunate injury. But, like I said, most injuries, you'll be back in 8 weeks. The Avs don't need anybody until the end of April. So I'm just saying this is not some sort of like panic attack level things. Like, so what? I mean, like I said, I don't want anybody to get injured, but this is not a big deal.
Sure.
Neither is the slump in January.
I knew it was coming. All right, well, let's do our bold predictions.
I mean, the why is the important part there.
Yes. Well, let's get our bold predictions and get you guys out of here today.
Well, we need to know also when our next show is going to be, so that way we can make our bold predictions.
Right. Oh, right. Is this like a week thing or what? What is the context of this?
Since
little
you are going to be
we'll
8 hours
definitely-
ahead of us for
we'll
the next
definitely
like 2 weeks.
We'll definitely still do our shows on Tuesdays, even no matter the time. We'll make it work for sure. So plan
We know
for
we're
it
about
next
to do a
Tuesday.
midnight stream in
That's
Milan.
right, baby.
So basically,
11:30
no. So basically, we shouldn't really make an Olympic prediction until next week
No, we'll be
That's the
covering the
better
Olympics
time for it.
weekly. Yeah, exactly.
because there
Okay.
won't be any. I don't know what's the first day of the round robin game. So like Tuesday or
It's the 5th. The 6th. No, the 8th. No, the 11th.
Don't
Jeez,
make up your mind.
There you go.
I think it's
February
Finland
11th. Yeah, so you got
versus-
some time.
so
Yeah,
yeah.
Fin-
Let's do anything Olympic related next week.
Next Wednesday is when the Olympics
Finland versus
start.
Slovakia starts it off at like
Yep.
8 in.m. America.
I have to
Mountain
figure
time.
out what channels all
America
this stuff is
time.
on.
I think they're mostly on Peacock. I think is what I've seen. Peacock and maybe a couple on NBC.
Trying to get that on the ballot, Brandon. We need one time zone
We
in all
need
of America.
time.
America time, baby.
I don't know what just happened. Jackie was asking a question and I was trying to answer it, and Brendan and Ada were losing their minds over there.
Oh man, I got the giggles today. I apologize. Well, let's let's sort out our bold predictions over here from last week, and I'll just do a real quick, like a unanimous buzzer for all of us. We were all
Look at
just
the kitty.
historically wrong last week. No, there weren't 10 goals in the Senators game, but there were in the Montreal game, Evan.
Right?
Sam Girard is
I
still
know,
on the team, but that's not a ding. But he didn't score a goal, so that's your buzzer, Jackie. Brandon, the Avs just decided to get their asses kicked by Montreal rather than lose in overtime. Ezra Keaton Middleton decided not to fight in the one game that he probably should have. And he wasn't penalized on his first shift that night, but he was penalized on his second shift the next game. So
And then he like pretended to fight. I don't know if
Yeah.
it counted as a fight.
No.
Sometimes
No,
it doesn't count.
I wouldn't count that. So that's our unanimous buzzer this week. Rough times. Let's get Vaguely's real quick. He said, I'm going to do a reverse jinx bold prediction. Philipper will not score any goals. There you go, Brendan.
I think you probably win that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, Felly's
Yeah.
has been on a little bit of a cold snap lately.
Well, I'll roll the sponsor, and while I'm doing it, y'all think of your bold predictions this week.
It's a bold strategy, Cotton. Let's see if it pays off for him.
I call that bold talk.
All right. This is a segment we've dubbed Bold Predictions, and it's pretty self-explanatory. You boldly make a claim. We circle back next week, and we give you a ding or a buzzer based on the fact that you're correct or wrong. This segment is brought to you by Brews Ale House Brewing Company, located in downtown Pueblo, Colorado, along the historic Pueblo Riverwalk. They have some delicious beverages, some delicious food. All of their beer and all of their food is made in-house. It's amazing. They have a bakery, just a wonderful place to be and consume goodies and sports. So get yourself down there the next time you're in Southern Colorado and trying to watch an Avalanche or Nuggets game. Okay, so let's get those bold predictions. I'm going to go ladies first this week. Jackie, what you got?
All right. I think just to spite us, the Avs are going to score not one but 2 power play goals tomorrow against San Jose, or more. I don't want to get if they get more than 2.
Yeah.
I still want it to count, but at least 2 power play goals just to spite us, just to ruin all of our articles during the break. They're going to
Sounds
score
about
2
right.
power play goals.
I love it. Ezra, let's go with you.
Well, there won't be men's Olympic hockey before we speak next, but there will be women's. The U.S. will have 3 games before our next show against Finland, against Switzerland, and against the Canadians. And U.S. Canada in women's hockey is always the gold medal game, pretty much. So I think it is bold to say the U.S. wins all 3 of those. They beat Canada as well.
Nice.
I like it.
Dig that. There's
And that's like right before we record too. It starts at 11. I'm probably gonna watch it.
Nice. There's
11 America time.
Pacific.
Oh,
Yeah,
for
America
God's
time.
sake.
Pacific time is America time.
That's right, baby. That's one of them.
No, I know I live on the East Coast now, but West Coast, Best Coast, I dearly miss watching games in Pacific and Mountain Time.
Normal
Pacific
time.
time's
Yeah.
brutal. Like Mountain or Central's better. I mean, the Pacific isn't any better. Like watching games at 4. Then no, that doesn't. That's not great either.
Try
Oh,
Hawaii.
it's awesome. I work till 3 and games start at 4. It's perfect.
You're gonna
Ezra
get your
knows what's
wish
up.
though for the Olympics, Evan. You're gonna be watching hockey at like the weirdest times.
I know.
You're
I
gonna
need
be-
to look at the schedule. I've
That's
not
true.
looked at the
It'll be at
schedule
least a
all.
little bit better on the East Coast.
You guys
so
will
they'll
all be
probably start at,
sleeping, and
like,
I'll be
10
over there
a.m.
freaking standing room only with a pencil and glasses, Poindexter. Let's get yours, Mr. Brennan.
Okay, so I've heard that Sherwood has been practicing, so I'm gonna go with Sherwood hat trick as per usual.
Wait.
Oh,
Kiefer
tomorrow?
Sherwood
Wow, that
tomorrow?
would be something.
Oh dear God.
I don't think he's gonna play, but if he does, he's gonna score.
Sure, I'll go with 2 then to be safe. To Sherwood hat trick or Celebrini goal.
Well,
The celebrating goal
No,
is
that's
not
not.
bold.
Yeah, that's not bold.
So you're
That's
only
not
going with
bold
one.
enough.
Fine.
I like the Sherwood. I mean, I don't like the Sherwood Hattie prediction, but it's on brand. We'll just put it that way.
I mean, how
I
many
mean, I'd
hat
even give
tricks
you
does the
a
man
one
have, and they're
Sherwood
all
goal.
against the freaking Avs? So
yeah.
I'd even say 1 Sherwood goal is good enough for a prediction.
I think they have him.
Hey, he said what he
skating
said.
Top line is last I saw from Sheng Peng.
I'm going Hattie so that even if he scores, I don't have to give Brennan a date.
Okay.
I like that. Thank you. I didn't want to say it, but thank you.
Evan, what do you got?
I'll make one about the game tomorrow because the Avs and Sharks that should actually be a fun matchup. Like that is a plausible first round series playoff.
True.
Holy English. First round playoff series. Like that could happen. And that'd be a lot of fun. But the Avs have loved to beat up on the Sharks recently, and I don't think that'll change. I think they win tomorrow's game by 3 goals or more.
But the Sharks have been playing well lately.
I know. That's why I think it's kind of bold still to say that the Avs win by 3 goals or more. And one extra bold prediction that I know I'm going to get wrong. I hope both the New England Patriots and the Seattle Seahawks lose.
Yeah.
I was going to say, don't. Oh, I thought you were going to say something else.
Can I throw one in? It's a trade deadline bold prediction.
Here we go.
Okay. Bobby McMahon will be in the Central Division after the trade deadline. Hopefully in Colorado, but definitely in the Central.
I know. I think didn't he score against the Avs? I was like, yeah, we should write that one down.
Ooh, I got one. No.
That speed demon? Ooh, I'd love it.
Dallas or Denver.
I'll add one. Kyle Kaiser with a shutout against Chicago this weekend, and because Chicago has been playing really darn well.
All right. That's bold. All right. That just leaves me. In the spirit of it being Super Bowl week, I'm going to say that more goals are scored. Let's see. How do I want to put this so that it's not confusing as hell? From now until the break, there will be more total goals, than there will be total points in the Super Bowl.
Like for each NHL game?
Yeah, so if you add up total goals for
Okay.
every game between now and the break, will be more than the total points scored in the Super Bowl.
I like that one, actually.
I think the Super Bowl, they're going to score like 12 points. It's going to be another really boring Super Bowl is my prediction.
It's such a bad Super Bowl. I hate it so much.
Well, I want to make a Super Bowl prediction then. If we're kind of getting to, I'm going to say there's going to be a safety in the Super Bowl.
Well, hold on. I made mine knowing. I made mine saying that I knew I was going to be wrong because I said I want both teams to lose.
Well, then Brennan made another one. He made it Eagles one.
Yeah. I said Kyle Kaiser is going to win with a shutout, only because Chicago is second in the Central and they're 6-2-1-1 in the last 10. So.
Oh, God, I feel like I have to make a second bold prediction. I made a joking second one, and now everyone's made a second one.
Yeah, you should.
I know. I don't know what to think.
Okay, so I just want to point out There are
1,
33
2, 3, 4.
NHL
Yeah,
games.
I was literally just counting those.
So,
2,
so assuming every game has like 4 to 5 goals.
Does that even include
That's-
tonight? So that's like 3 days worth of NHL games.
That includes tonight. There's 33 games.
So let's not count tonight.
Okay.
Let's go from tomorrow on. From
That's
All right,
funny.
1, 2,
Wednesday
3,
and
4,
Thursday.
5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Let's say this. There will be more goals on February 5th than there
Okay.
are points in the Super Bowl.
That's
fair.
reasonable.
Okay. That's
We almost gave Ado a layup without even knowing it.
Yeah,
so
I was
many
like, wait a
points.
minute.
Oh man. Okay. You know what? Okay.
That's
I have another bold prediction since everyone's making two. Even though I jokingly was making a second one. I'll make another one about tomorrow night. I'll go a similar route to Brennan's first one, and I'll say Nathan McKinnon gets a hat trick tomorrow night.
God, I hope so.
Shuts all the haters up.
All three on the
Says,
power play.
I'm here.
Oh,
Make us all right. Yep.
Yeah.
you
all
shut
three.
your mouth, Ryan.
What did Ryan
Super Bowl
say?
prediction. Just
Go
because
Patriots, Ryan. Get out of here. Leave.
a Super Bowl prediction just for all of our Minnesota faithful watching this show. Minnesota faithful of all types. Sam Darnold, Super Bowl MVP.
How dare you? How
Fuck the
dare you?
Vikings.
And that, just like that, folks, the episode got an explicit tag.
Oh, I'm sorry.
It did when you
So
said
good.
shit. Like 2
Yeah,
minutes.
exactly.
Oh, yeah.
You've said
That-
2 cuss words already, bro.
That ship has sailed, baby. That ship has sailed. All right, since we get 2 and I've only given 1 and it was Super Bowl related, I'll just give 1 real quick, Avs related. I will say that and this one is a shout out to Mr. Ryan O'Hara. We're going to get our first Taylor McCarr goal. That's what's going to happen.
Ooh.
I
almost,
actually really like
I almost
that.
brought Taylor McCarr up today because I feel like he's making. I like this prediction. I feel like he's making a lot of like hope passes, and I wish he would stop. But
Yeah.
That's
I
what
do
the
like that he's
NHL
trading.
is. That's what they teach you there. Every pass.
And I
is a
wish he
hope
would
pass.
stop.
Well, it's just like there were so many examples last night of him like getting into the zone, establishing zone time, and then throwing a puck to the middle of the ice where nobody
Yeah.
was. And I'm like, just take it around the
Well,
net. A little possession, dude.
But interesting fact that I shared with Marie and Evan today is that Taylor McCarr has no giveaways. He's the
Well,
only one on the
not
That's
team.
why.
True.
Yeah.
Well,
he has
no,
a bunch,
like,
but
he's
they don't
the
look
only
like
one
him.
on the team.
They look
As
like
of-
dumps.
Yeah, they're
As
called
of
passes
this morning
to
is
no one.
because he has no giveaways.
Okay.
So,
Well, that is a crazy stat to track. So I don't
Yeah.
agree.
I
I wonder.
Yeah,
I would love to
go
see
on
the
to puck
internal team
the-
metrics on that.
You want to see it?
I would love to see what like Bednar's
Please
notes
God,
on,
no.
on giveaways are. You know, because
Oh.
the coaching staff takes these stats differently than the public does.
Oh well, yeah.
I have liked Taylor McCarr's game. He's been fun to watch the last
Yeah.
few games. I'll give him that.
And,
I like him
and
too.
He's a
I'm just
lot
frustrated with
more
the one thing.
aggressive when he's with the Eagles, and that is so much more fun to watch.
That's right. You need a job with the team. So he's like, hey, Taylor, come on in here. See this? Don't do that no more.
I can see Ezra putting on the A's hat and just
You know what? I actually am now in favor of them firing Dave Haxtell and hiring me.
and hiring you. Yeah, I'm with it.
I was
I'll coach
going to
the
bring
power
that up.
play. I got an idea.
I'm there, baby. Let's go. All right, y'all. Well, thank you to the 4 of you for joining me today and to our 661 live viewers currently. You folks have been wonderful. It's been a great episode. I like how we started it, and I like how we finished. I hope that's how I feel about the Colorado Avalanche season as we approach the Olympic break. Ezra, don't give me that smirk when I say such an innuendo.
No, I liked that. I was enjoying it.
But yeah, I'm excited to see how the Olympics go for these Avalanche, with a few of them representing their country in different countries. And of course, we will see how things pan out for the Avs on the other side of that break. We will be here for you in the meantime and in between time, though, Avalanche fans, to keep you updated. So look out for our episode next week as well. Be sure to give us a follow on your preferred social media platform and like and subscribe to this content on YouTube, Spotify, and Apple Podcasts. On behalf of my wonderful colleagues, Ezra Parter, Jackie K, Brendan Vogt, and Evan Liu, my name is Adrian Hernandez. You guys have been great. Until next time, I say, go Avs.
Thank you for tuning into the Mile High Hockey Lab.
thank you, Ryan.